In this video, we will talk about counteractions, or in simpler terms, feedback. Probably heard the term called juicy or smooth, used for game development. Essentially, when you are making a game or playing a game, you want your player to feel everything he does. That's what counteraction is. So let's start with the most simple stuff. Sound is a great way of showing players that they did something. So I'm gonna show you an example. We're gonna go in to our character controller script, and here we have from a previous video made add underscore coin function. So here what I'm gonna do is here add a new node, which will be a audio stream player, and this here we will attach a pickup coin sound effect, and in this we're going to reference our thing and here play. And now this is pretty much it you need. So to make it better, you basically now here, if I jump over, you can clearly know that you haven't picked up the coin because you haven't actually made any sound. So if I go in it, you can see that I made a sound and I clearly know that I have picked it up. So that's a great way of using sound as a counter action. Another great way of doing this is using particles. So what I'm gonna do is create a new scene, which will be a CPU particle. I made these simple particles, make the speed scale to, let's see, 10. So it's just faster and it's one time only. But before I do that, I wanna change the color. So let's make it, let's say, yellow as our coin and make it one shot. And here I'm gonna add a new variable which will be a pause, let's say, and it will be a vector2. And now at the top I wanna reference my newly made pickup coin particles, and here I'm gonna reference it. And here what I want to do is after this I want to create an instance of it, so it's gonna be this dot instantiate. And here I will do get parent dot add underscore child, and here it's gonna be our instance. I'm doing this because I don't want if I add this to our character, it will the particles will move with the character. So I am requesting the parent to stick it there. And here we have our position, which we will here do, and here it's gonna be global underscore position of our coin. Let's get back to character, and here what we are gonna do is set our instance dot global position be equal of to pause. And of course the last thing we need to do is instance dot emitting do to true, since when we start it's not gonna actually emit since we have to, it's only one time use, so we need to activate it. And now if I start the game and go inside our thing, you can see that there's little particles coming out, and it makes your game even better. Another great way of displaying a counteraction is through camera shake. So what I'm gonna do is create a new variable which will be shake underscore strength, and this will be equal to 0. Now here I'm gonna add a function of process, and here if shake underscore strength is more than 0, we want it to slowly decay, so we're gonna take it and make it a lerp f, and here it's gonna be a shake strength, and here it's gonna be to a 0, and here let's do 5 times delta, let's see. So essentially this will decay our shake strength over time and make it to 0. And now if we go over main, and here under our character you can see that there's a camera to detach. So what I'm gonna do is reference it above, and it's gonna be let's name it a camera, and here it's gonna be camera dot offset, and here it's gonna be a vector2. And now here we need to create a new function which will be a random offset return, and here's just gonna be randf underscore range, and here it's gonna be minus shake strength to shake strength. So basically what this does, we will get a possible offset which we can do to our camera. So what I'm gonna do is copy this and paste it right in our vector2, and again paste it for the other value. So this essentially works, but one thing I actually recommend doing is if our camera offset.x is less than 0.1, so it's either more than minus 0.1 or less than 0.1. And here, of course, we want to check if abs, basically we can copy this entire thing and here check for y. And here we want to set our camera offset to be equal to vector 2, which will be 0, 0. And of course, just in case, set our shake strength to be a 0. So now what we can do is take this line, for example, and now when I jump, let's say, I want to give it some strength for the camera to shake. So let's try it out. Now, if I'm on the ground, nothing works, nothing happens. But if I jump, this is pretty a lot. So let's make it a 5, let's say, or even lower. Now, if I jump, yep, this is too much still. And now let's do it. So let's make it smaller, like 2, let's say. And now, if I jump, you can see that it's not the biggest shake, but it still feels like you have actually done something since it's actually shaking. Another awesome way of using sound for your advantage is I will show you a clip from Hitman 3 first mission, where when you jump down in the first section of the level, there is a sound which changes the music. So that is a pretty cool way of using sound to catch someone's attention and make a counteraction. Another way of using music is when a player, for example, ends a level and goes into another section or a different biome, for example, there could be a music change to represent a different area, and it can catch the player's attention. Now, if you want your animations to look better, what I recommend doing is here in our canvas layer, what I will do is add a texture. We'll use just a simple fully white texture, and here in layout I will do top wide, so it covers the top part of our screen, and in visibility I will set it to black. Now what I will do is double it, and here in our layout I will set it to bottom wide, so it's at the bottom. And now if I go into transform, you can see that the y is equal to 64. So in our position, on y-axis I will set it minus 64, so it's outside the visible area. I will set it plus 64, so it's at the not visible area. And what I'm gonna do is add an animation player, and here is gonna be a simple animation, which is animation start. And here it's gonna be a property track of our two different things. So I will select the first one, and here is gonna be position, and here we're gonna insert our key, which will be a minus 64, but after a second, let's say this should be a 0. And easing, let's do some cool easing, and here you can see that it slowly goes in. We should also use this and make it easing as well. You can see that it slowly goes in. Now we can copy this value and create a new track again for our bottom one. So it's going to be position once again. Here, add a key, which will be this big number here. We're going to do easing to this one. And here, add another key, which will be minus 64. So it's at the bottom, you can see. Yeah, both of them are. Now let's copy this value pretty quick, and here, paste it here. Awesome. So now we have a simple animation start. If I start my game now, and for example, this is a cutscene we want to actually take the player's attention to. So what I'm going to do is when I start, you can see that the borders appear to make it more cinematic. And it already, even though this is a simple platformer with almost nothing on it, you can see that it's quite impactful on my play, and it catches my attention. Now, another awesome way of displaying something really important happening is through slowing time. So let's say I have jumped and I'm not on the floor. Here, what we can do is if I'm not on the floor, I want to engine dot time underscore scale and set it to, let's say, 0.5. And of course we need to set it once we are on the floor, so it's gonna be 1. I start the game and I jump. You can see that it works slowly, but once I it looks like I'm gliding, but if there were enemies, you could use this for showing a critical hit on an enemy to emphasize it and make it even better. This is an awesome way of using time_scale. And my last tip, which I will not really show you since I don't have a def condition here, basically using text or simple things to know how you have died. For example, Minecraft uses this pretty easily. When you die, you see a message appear which says how you died, because you don't really want unless this is a simple game, you don't want players to question how they have died.
Where you aim your cursor should be. I have to re-level it now. I don't understand how I died.
So yeah, this is pretty much it. Thank you for watching and goodbye. Hope your game pops and good luck.